Welcome to lesson 11 of Image Bearers. Today we're going to look into the life of a famous cartoonist. You may not know him by name, but you will certainly recognize the names of Charlie, Linus, Lucy, Snoopy, Woodstock, Schroeder, and many more. That's right, I'm talking about the Peanuts gang creator, Charles Schulz. But before we get any further into our lesson, let's get to our game. It amazes me to think that Charlie Brown's character is so simply drawn, a circle for the head, a swirl for hair, and several semicircles for eyes, ears, and mouth, and yet his character is so complex. The key to the Peanuts comic strip isn't so much the drawing as it is the content. So what kind of person is Charles Schulz? Well, this morning I'm going to share with you 3 qualities of him that reflect the image of our Creator. Number 1, humor. Over the course of 50 years, Schulz wrote and illustrated over 18,000 Peanuts comic strips. One of the funniest, most iconic, and often repeated scenes is Lucy's unexpected pulling of the football away from the charging Charlie Brown, who misses the kick and lands flat on his back. No matter how many times Lucy pulls the football right from under him, she is always able to convince him that the next time she can be trusted to hold it for him. Schulz always found a way to be humorous without resorting to foul language or crude jokes. The pure joy and happiness that results from humorous situations is a direct reflection of our God, who delights in laughter. God's good actions are to be the cause of our joy and laughter. Psalm 126 verse 2 reads, "Then our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue with shouts of joy. And then they said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them." If you are in need of a good laugh, look at the ridiculously over-the-top way in which God provides, protects, and blesses you beyond measure. Number 2, relatable. Schulz once said, "In the book of life's questions, the answers are not in the back." And I think that is the perfect way to sum up his comics. Whether it be Charlie, Linus, or even Lucy, all of Schulz's characters at times seem to struggle to find answers to life's everyday questions. You would often see Charlie sitting at Lucy's psychiatric help booth, putting in his 5 cents to get perspective on his latest struggle. Life is not easy, and it doesn't come with any simple answers, but that is exactly why we have a God who took it upon himself to come down in human form, to fully experience humanity, to struggle as we struggle, and to ultimately triumph over our deepest fears to bring us comfort and peace. John chapter 1 verse 14 from the Living Bible says, "And Christ became human and lived here on earth among us, and was full of loving forgiveness and truth." And from Hebrews chapter 4 verse 15, we read that Jesus was tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. There is help and hope for humanity in Jesus. And he is calling us to follow in his footsteps because he never veered off course. Today, if you feel like no one knows what you're going through, take a little deeper look into the life of Christ and you will find answers to all your questions. Number 3, the love of children. After Scholl's mother passed away of cancer in 1943, he wrote a book titled Why, Charlie Brown, Why? And it was to help children cope with and understand the subject of cancer. It was later turned into an animated cartoon which aired as a CBS television special in 1990. The story centered around a classmate of Charlie and Linus's who is diagnosed and treated for leukemia, and while the other children around her react to her struggle in various different ways. It was praised for its honesty and bravery on the topic and has been shown in hospitals and in the public education systems all over the country. Scholl's concern for the well-being of children reflects the character of God, who sees children as a blessing and a reward. Psalm 127, verses 3 through 5 reads, "Children are a gift from the Lord, and they are a reward from him. Children born to a young man are like arrows in a warrior's hands. How joyful is the man whose quiver is full of them." Society may see children as a burden to bear or a menace to manage, but God is quick to remind us that unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. I believe that it is the unfiltered honesty, faith, and trustworthiness of children that is to be emulated in the spiritual life of every believer. If your faith is struggling today, take a fresh look at how children imagine, play, and interact with one another, and I am sure that you will see the image of our Creator. Your challenge for this week is to find true and lasting joy and happiness in a God who loves us so richly. He saw our struggle and set aside his heavenly throne to wear a crown of thorns and to pick up a cross to die in our place. If I can be of any help in your search, please let me know.